Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking the top 5 Warlock exotics, mainly for the PvE side of the game. Of course, this is my opinion, so if you don't agree with me, you're just flat out wrong. I'm kidding. Now, I do want to say before we go any further that this isn't a ranking like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but I do have what I consider 2 exotics to be the best, in which we will talk more about them when we arrive at that point. Before we talk about the main 5, I do gotta give a shout out to some of the other exotics that didn't quite make the list, but are at least worthy of a mention. I'm looking at Controverse Holds. Amazing for any void builds, as we all know. I am going to at least mention the Ophidian aspects, mainly because they're really good for some nasty swap rotations. But of course, most people look at these as a PvP exotic. And then the last one that I at least got to mention is definitely the Rain of Fire exotic boots. The ability to reload all of your weapons just by Icarus dashing is very nice, as well as getting yourself some on-demand radiant with fusion rifles or linear fusion rifle final blows, which can be pretty useful in some certain scenarios. And lastly, a message from today's sponsor, helping you get your games at a cheaper price. If you are looking to get your games for a cheaper price, then I got the place for you. Instant Gaming is the place to be. Think of them as the online retailer for getting your games for a cheaper price. It's not a marketplace like G2A websites. Instant Gaming is legit, as they buy large quantities from suppliers, which allows them to sell the game keys for a much cheaper price. Each key is directly from the supplier, so you know you're not getting jibbed of your money. They support all platforms in PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo. So they're bound to have a game that you definitely want, and you can get for a cheaper option than you would for the standard price. And on top of that, they are doing monthly giveaways where they give you guys a free game of your choice if you win. So if you want to save money on your games or enter a giveaway for a free game of your choice, go ahead and check the 2 links at the very top of the description. And a huge shout out to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video. Alright, the first exotic that we're going to talk about is none other than the Variety's Brow. Weapon final blows with the damage type matching your subclass energy grant death throws. This provides you a grenade damage bonus and grants you grenade energy. When you have death throws and you throw a grenade, nearby allies gain greatly increased grenade generation for a short time. To be a bit more specific on grenade ability usage, with active death throws stacks, for 5 seconds allies receive Feel the Flames within 20 meters. Feel the Flames grants 10 times grenade recharge rate. Grenade regeneration rate multiplier is applied after all additive grenade regeneration rate modifiers. Death Throws also grants 50% additional base grenade recharge rate and 20% increased grenade damage per stack, with a max of 5 stacks. This exotic has definitely seen a little bit of a rise recently as Starfire's gotten nerfed, but it's always been a sleeper, really good exotic. I think its most notable usage spot was definitely Atheon, because you have Time's Vengeance, so it's so easy to spam grenades with a max stack of death throws. Alright, let's talk about the most common cakes for Warlocks to be wearing. And first up, we got the fan favorite Lunafaction boots. While wearing these bad boys and you drop a Rift or a Well of Radiance, that Rift or Well of Radiance will grant you plus 100 reload. Huge, we like to see that. As well as an empowering Rift or Well of Radiance, granting 100% increased damage fall off distance. Really helpful for something like slugs or shotguns in general. Not too much else to talk about here. Everybody knows how good these are. But these are more primarily a swap exotic these days, as neutral game is just so strong with other exotics. And then we are moving on and talking about the classic steppers, the transversive steps. Every Warlock main has a good pair of these bad boys. Increase your sprint speed by 6.25%. and slide distance by 33%. Reloads your held weapon from reserves after sprinting for a second and a half, and crouch speed is also set to 4 meters per second and bypasses slowing effects. Super useful in situations in which you just gotta go fast, and I don't know a single Warlock main out there who don't like themselves a good pair of T-steps. Alright, so y'all remember when I said I have a 2 best exotics in mind? Well, we were right at that point. So the first one of these 2 that we're going to talk about are the tried and true Sunbracers. These have been pretty damn good for a minute now, but have definitely been put in the major spotlight this season with the Starfire Protocol nerf. But they were really good beforehand as well. It's just that now there's not really the biggest competition for ease of use, added clearing capabilities, quite like the Sunbracers. You can also run a really good infinite ×2 resto build with the Sunbracers and Phoenix Dive along with Heat Rises, allowing for some pretty nice survivability that's really hard to come by these days, as sources of ×2 resto these days are just hard to come by. Slap on some momentum transfer mods on your Sunbracers and you'll have a very easy chain of getting your charged melee back, so you can always proc Sunbracers ready because in case you were wondering, when Sunbracer's Ready is active, it grants a 20,000% additional base solar grenade regeneration rate for 5 seconds. Effectively recharges 132% of a solar grenade charge per second. Really fun, really casual. You know it had to be up here. And then the last exotic that we're going to talk about is none other than the recent addition, the Xenotaph Mask. First of all, it has a bit of Actium War Rig for trace rifles, meaning if you ever need a divinity, you ask a Warlock with this helmet to wear it, because you can literally fire the divinity forever without having to worry about reloading it. Pretty awesome, we know that. Also, what makes this gun so dang good is the ability to mark a target by shooting that enemy with a trace rifle while wearing this exotic helmet. When an ally kills a marked enemy, it generates heavy ammo for your allies and special ammo for you, aka for your trace rifle. Spawned ammo bricks grant 10% of your total reserves, rounded up to the nearest whole number, along with finishing a marked enemy with Aeons can spawn even more heavy. Pretty awesome, especially in something like a Grandmaster or a Master Raid. Grandmaster Nightfall, not a Grandmaster Raid. That doesn't exist unless you're actively nuking your light level. The only real downside to the Xenotaph Mask is that you can land a plane on top of it. It's pretty ugly, but outside of that, its functionality is S tier. That is my top 5 Warlock exotics. Let me know your top 5 down in the comments. Thank you for watching the video. Consider subscribing. You guys be safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.